Hello, all. Thank you for joining us again on the Almost Brothers podcast. Hey, will you do us a favor? If this podcast has meant something to you and encouraged you, will you consider becoming a monthly supporter? You could do $3, $5, $8, or $10 a month. What this does is this helps financially support the podcast so that we can continue to put out content and help better serve you. So if you would, down in the show notes, you can click the link, support, and become a monthly member. We love you. New episode coming your way.
Yeah.
I'm dying. I'm okay.
Breathe.
Are you good? Are we going to have like
CPR?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm certified.
Same.
Verifiable.
Same.
I am
We'll-
too,
I just got my
so
CPR card in my email today.
We'll save you.
Thanks.
Don't worry.
Appreciate it.
Where's the IED? We ain't got one. Or not IED.
What in the world is
Not
really
IED.
going on?
Not IED. AED.
Oh my goodness.
Wrong one.
He's got
Just when we thought
PTSD
he'd make
going
it, here comes Tyler with the IED. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Almost Brothers podcast. Thank you for joining us yet again today. How are you? We love you. Thanks for listening. You're amazing.
And
we
good
love your
night.
faces. And
That sounds like a salutation.
That's
like,
not a goodbye. That's a hello.
That's a what's up.
Yeah.
That's
That's
9
like
of them. I counted.
Aloha, which I guess could be hello or goodbye. So there's that.
Glad we got that established.
Yeah. So, Rich, how's it going?
It's been a long day, but I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm real good.
Long but good.
Long but good.
There you go. There you go. Tata, how are you doing?
I'm sweaty.
I thought it was going to be, so, dude. I swear, I thought that was
I'm sweaty.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. We just got done playing ball. It was nice. It was a good few games.
Hoot, holler, and sweaty
It
time.
was, yeah.
Zane
very much
said
so.
that when he heard us first say that we were going to play ball, he just assumed pickleball.
Yeah. He would have been right 99% of the time.
Yeah, well,
If
we
only
don't have an
it weren't-
indoor court.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's rainy and cold right now, so you can't really.
Yeah, I really want an indoor court.
Yeah. Well, that's what I told it. That's what I was telling Tyler on the way there. If we ever get a net, you could set it up on a court like that and just
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
Play on the court. If nobody else is, if nobody else is there playing.
Right.
Just steal the one from the park.
Have you seen these three men? Just our three
Just
pictures.
joking. We
Yeah.
don't condone stealing.
Oh,
on this
don't do that.
podcast.
Don't do that. Yeah, none of that. None of that. Just kidding.
Do
JK.
not try this
Don't-
at home.
Right.
Don't do as we
Right.
speak.
So on today's episode, we're going to be talking about honoring leadership and just being able to, what was it called? The chain of command. Just being able to make sure that you humble yourself, know where you're placed at, not only just in ministry, because we work, in ministry, but in all aspects, whether you're at a job or in the military or on a basketball team. I mean, it's whatever. There is a chain of command that you go to. There's a reason why there's team captains. There's, things like that. So yeah, let's kind of just jump into it. What are some things that you've seen? Let's start just in ministry. Some things that y'all have seen in ministry that you see. So let's start just with leadership and being able to equip those to not have to come to you all the time, to also be able to, hey, I put you over this,
Right.
to
Well,
equip people to be able to take care of that.
you had a sermon one time that was stay in your lane.
Mhm.
And I think that is step one. If you're put in charge of something, that's you. Stay there. Don't try to veer off and take care of other people's stuff. And we've talked about it before. If the pastor or whoever puts you in charge of something, let them be in charge of it.
Right.
Don't come over there and be like, oh, you're not doing this right, or you're not doing, this is not what I wanted for it. This is not. No, if you want them to run it, let them be.
Yeah. And let them know the vision of what you want
Right.
for that, do that up front so that you're not having to go to them and say, oh, no, this is how I want it, this is how I want it. If you're up front with them as a leader and equipping them correctly, they know what the vision is for it. They know what's in your heart and what you want for that area.
Right.
And then you give it to and let them run with it. Don't micromanage. Nobody likes being micromanaged.
Right.
But also nobody likes just being thrown out there and not knowing what you're
Right.
what you're expecting them to do.
Yep.
You know, have you ever been in that position where you're just like, all right, here, go do this, and then it seems like everything you do is wrong. And it's like, but you're not telling me what, like, you weren't clear at what you wanted out of this. So, like, what do you want?
Yeah, that was when I was bartending at Red Lobster. I trained before that I knew nothing about bartending. I trained for 2 days, and by training I meant made 2 drinks and
there's the bottles that you
help
Right.
help with dishes the rest of the time. And then they're like, all right, you're on your own tomorrow. And then here I am. So I'm with drink orders, and I'm taking 10 minutes to make a simple little drink. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know.
I have no idea.
And then the bar manager, he's like, let's talk after your shift. I'm like, okay. Jeez. He's like, so what do you know? Nothing.
I know the 2 drinks you taught me.
Yeah, right.
Not, barely. I had to read the recipe, but
Right.
but he's like, so what do you know? I was like, nothing. He's like, what did you get trained on? I said, this one thing, and I did dishes the rest of the night.
Yeah.
He's like, so do you think we should probably train you a little longer? Like, probably.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you saw, like he saw me there with like 10 plus drink orders, and it's a Monday, and I'm over here like I don't know what I'm doing, and people are waiting on drinks and stuff, and it's like that's and I've been under different kinds of leadership too, where that's the same thing. It's like, if you're obviously you're on that same team, if you got people that you're putting under you, you want to accomplish the same goal. You're just making it harder on yourself as a leadership if you're not equipping them with the knowledge and tools and anything else they need to at least be somewhat efficient at what they're doing.
Right. That's exactly right. Yeah, because you're going to have to come up behind them and
Yeah.
do it anyway,
Yeah.
And
being the leader, you've got other things to worry about, but now you've got to step aside from your leadership position to help in this one area.
Well, and don't take something over that you're completely unqualified to do.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm working under Mike here at Remnant, he knows that I'm not a preacher. I'm just not, and that's fine. So I stay in my lane and I teach. I do the men's group. It's fine to admit, hey, I appreciate the opportunity. I just can't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Admitting your knowing your
Right.
weaknesses,
Right.
and that's a good sign of a good leader is knowing, okay, here's my weaknesses.
Right.
Here's what I can't do, but here's the things I'm good at. Knowing that, and not just like, okay, I'm going to just try to be good at all these things and try to juggle all this, even though I know I'm bad at these 5 things.
Right.
Knowing it's staff your weakness. Get people in there that can do the things that you're not capable of doing.
Right.
Fill in the gaps, be able to do that. And that's what it's all
that's
about.
what I tell my staff all the time. They're working with people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. I tell them, like, I'm not the kind of person that can do y'all's job.
Mm-hmm.
I can manage people, but I trust y'all more than I trust myself to do that job.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I try to show as much appreciation towards them as much. And speaking of weaknesses, y'all know about my bad memory. I'm always telling them, like,
You do? I don't remember.
that's crazy.
forgot.
That's crazy. No, I'm always telling them, like, if they tell me something at night, there's a day off, they can't work. I'll be like, all right, text me tomorrow.
Remind me again.
When I'm in, because I've got an L-shaped desk. I probably said this before. I got an L-shaped desk on the right side, 20, 30 sticky notes of just reminders. So
Yeah.
I'm always, if I'm doing something on the laptop, I'm always just going to glance over and look at it.
Yep.
I feel like can't remember, people can't see me, but
They can't.
they can't
That's
see
him
me.
glancing.
Yes,
That's what
I was
that
glancing.
That's the glance
I was glancing
now.
at it. But I'm, and that's one of the things I've done to, that's a weakness of mine, but at least to, I guess, make up for it. So it's not, what's the word? It's not like a liability,
Yeah. And being secure in yourself as a leader and knowing it's okay to be bad at these things. Like, I am not good at oh, it's coming down. Man, it's coming down out there.
It's raining.
Yeah, it is. I'm not good at being able to have a bunch of things going at once. Like, I really like to, if I start something, I want to get it done. Like, I don't want to juggle 5 different things. So being able to be secure in that, knowing I got to put people over these other things because I'm focused on this thing or these couple things, and I need to focus on these and get done with them before I move on to something else. Knowing that and being secure and saying, hey, I trust you to go and do this. Even when you get praise for it, and being a leader, I know I'm not getting the praise. That's okay with me. I put you over that. I'm proud of you. That's awesome. I hope you get recognition for that. Because a lot of leaders, they'll put somebody in those positions, but then they'll start getting shine in those things, and then later go, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, now I'm getting insecure because you're getting.
Right.
I'm the leader here.
Right.
You know, and they're not okay with somebody else getting that shine.
That's the military in a nutshell.
Yeah.
That is exactly it. I don't know how many times my platoon had done something and our platoon sergeant or staff sergeant got an award for it.
Yeah.
That's the worst. It's the worst. Like they'll get say I did something completely stand out, you know, with the rest of the platoon. My staff sergeant or platoon sergeant, they'll get a Navy Achievement Medal. I'll get a certificate, maybe.
Well, that's the weird, different thing about ministry is you know, when you do these support roles, you go into that knowing that you're probably not going to get recognized for everything you do.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's not why we do it.
Right.
So, you know, when that's why it's great serving under you because you do that. You know, you make sure that you give credit where credit is due and give praise when needed. But that's not what you're supposed to do. And that goes for anything. Like if you're in a job or whatever and you're in a supporting role, take that supporting role and do the best you can with it. At some point, if you work your way up, you will be in that leadership role.
Right.
You know, wait your time. That's the problem with jobs in general right now. Nobody wants to work their way up anymore. Everybody wants, I want to be the CEO tomorrow.
Right.
So what have you done? Well, I worked at the drive-thru at McDonald's.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you're not qualified.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Well, and that's good. And that kind of segues into another thing is, you know, good leaders make sure that the people working under them know that they're appreciated and they're wanted and they're heard, and not just, oh, you done your job. That's what you're supposed to do. You know, because not everybody does that, especially now. It's hard to find really good people that are dedicated. So make sure that you go to those that are under you and say, hey, I appreciate you. You are seen. Like what you're doing doesn't go unseen. It may go unseen by everybody else, but it does not go unseen by me. That is the marks of, that's the people that people want to follow.
Right.
That's the leader that people want to follow.
And that's something I've learned from you, because being in a small church ministry, volunteers and help is hard to come by. And like I said, the kind of job that my staff do, I'm not fit for that job. So I try to always make sure anytime I communicate or interact with them, say something or do something just to show, you know, their work is appreciated and their time's appreciated and all that. Because if I got them, I want to keep them.
Right. Yeah.
and that's a specifically tough gig. I've done that, work with developmentally delayed people. It's a hard job, and you don't get paid near what it's worth.
Yeah.
As is most healthcare jobs in general, but that is a tough gig.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, first of all, I appreciate y'all saying that, because I've been on the opposite side of that many times, being, you know, in ministry for so long, where you come in and a lot of it, I mean, unless you're at a mega church, a lot of the work is on volunteer.
Right.
So you go in and you feel underappreciated and unseen, and you don't do it for recognition, but after a while it just becomes
You can't
oh
help
my
but
God.
feel
Yes.
unappreciated.
So you're like, you know, you go so many years and it's Pastor Appreciation Day, and you've been here busting your tail, and you've been here as much as the lead pastor, and you've been here doing stuff behind the scenes, and you're just kind of overlooked.
Right.
And that just naturally gets to you.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that God allowed me to go through those seasons to say, hey, look, you know how you felt? Never let somebody feel that way. Always let them know, to a point of exhaustion, you know, that they're appreciated. Like, okay, dude, I get it. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I know.
I want to do it.
I'm
no
a
matter
true
what.
right.
I feel awkward now.
Right. You know, but I want to make sure, because it's hard to find. it's hard to find good people that are willing to do that because it's such a hard thing as doing it just on volunteer. Hey, I know you worked 10 hours today, but can you come and help me up here? Or, hey, I know you're tired and you would like a weekend where you don't have anything going on, but I really need your help. And for people to not only be willing to do that, but be happy to do that, you know, because they know, you know, it's going for something bigger is very rare. It really is. You know, again, you see it at these mega churches because they're in a city of 2.5 million people. You know, it's a little easier to get, 100 volunteers out of 2.5 million people. But at small churches, I told y'all this last night at youth. It's like it's amazing to look at our leadership because it's just so awesome just to see people that are willing to volunteer and willing to drive and willing to be there for stuff and willing to work and have a smile on their face and be excited to be there. It really is a rare thing. So y'all really do. Our leadership here really makes it easy to lead. It really does, and of course there's going to be hard days, but it really helps having all of y'all. So y'all are awesome.
It would help even more if you weren't wearing a pink hat.
Why are you hating on my hat, man?
It's horrible.
It's
a terrible
not.
hat.
Dude, this is where it's at right here.
Is that salmon or is that just
Tyler is weirdly
pink?
just quiet over there. This is baby pink.
It's not baby pink, it's Zaylee's.
Wow, but you got the whole squad laughing.
Going right there laughing. Oh.
It wasn't over.
I feel like I heard like a little stream in the background of that. With just crickets, there's a stream too.
He said, "Oh." That is so funny. So what are some of the things that you yourself see? Because we're all, I think this is where a lot of people get it messed up, is they think that they don't have influence or they're not leaders because they're not leaders like at their job or whatever. But we're all leaders in many aspects of our lives. We're husbands, we lead our house. We're fathers, we lead our homes. We're, you have a staff under you. You work for, a bunch of different states that you're going to, you're over people.
Right.
So what are some things that you see that you yourself need to work on in those roles?
Tyler?
I could start. I'll start and give y'all a second to think. Okay. So for me, I know one thing I've got to do is stop doubting myself so much.
Yeah.
Like nobody wants to follow a leader that isn't confident in their leading. Like, again, even if you're running us into a brick wall, if you're confident and you're I'm going to trust you. I know we're going the wrong way, but I'm here with you. Let's go. I'm going to follow you. If you're confident and we're doing this, I'm looking at you going, maybe he knows something I don't because I trust him. And we do it, and usually those leaders that are confident and they do it are the same ones that go, that's my bad. I should have went right. We went left. That's my bad. Let's correct this. So I know that's something I doubt myself way too much.
Two things about me, I guess, as a leader. One, it was mostly because of my job, because this is my first kind of managerial job that I've had. I'm learning a lot. One, micromanaging, and it's to the point. It's gotten to the point where it's like I'm micromanaging, and they welcome it. So it's like I'm being encouraged to micromanage.
Okay, because that's what I was going to ask you. Like, do you find yourself micromanaging, but then getting upset when they come to you with everything?
In a sense, I get frustrated when they come to me with things that I've already answered quite a bit.
Yeah.
Or when one thing I harp on them so much constantly, almost every day, is communicating.
Yeah.
And not just with me, but with each other as coworkers.
Yeah.
So it's like that one night at the Branson trip where my phone was getting blown up because this was one person
was so fun. Oh, sorry. It was so fun. It was a good time.
Calm down.
I just, as soon as it said the Branson, I'm sorry.
My bad.
As soon as it said Branson
Vietnam
trip,
flashbacks.
As soon as it said Branson trip, I just looked, the fireplace. So nice. Sorry.
Okay. Anyways. So, yeah, my phone was getting blown up because this one person that was supposed to work that night hadn't shown up yet. Well, there's two workers at the house. One of them was blowing up my phone. The other one, I told them, hey, they're going to be about a half hour late. So that's kind of one of those things. Y'all are sitting right next to each other.
Right.
Why don't you talk to each other and figure that one out?
Yeah.
Because one of you got the information.
Yeah.
And that's one thing when y'all talk to me about that. And that's as soon as I got back to work, is something I started working on was, one, not micromanaging, to starting to delegate those responsibilities so that I don't have to be a micromanager, because that's I was talking to our HR lady. She kind of was basically training me for the first good while, and she basically said the same thing. She's like, use your staff, like not just use them for the job they're doing, but use them for those things. Like they're getting paid to do it, use them for that way. And I've got a house that has a team lead, and I never even think about that house, because he's got it taken care of. And that was put into place before I started working there. So I'm in the process of putting that into place in my other houses. But I don't ever think about that house. Right. I'm actually trying to get on myself about going to visit them more, because it's hard to get to Bluff, but I don't ever think about it, so I don't ever think about going up there.
When I ask that, because I know some of the people that I've been under that like to micromanage are usually the same ones that get upset when you're coming to them asking them questions. They're like, just do it. Like, I put you in charge of it. And it's like, but you didn't, though. Every little thing you want to know about. So I come to you and I know, and now you're confused, and you're upset, and you're frustrated because you don't feel like you're over it, but they expect you to be over it, and you don't know how to function.
And the one time you do something without them,
right?
Like, why did you tell me?
Right, and you're like, I don't know what to do. Like, do you want me to tell you? Do you not? Like, what do you want to know? What do you not want to know? Like, why am I even over it?
And I've told them. I said, for the people that I'm looking to put kind of in charge of that thing, I tell them, like, if it's something you think that I need to be included on, by all means tell me. I'd rather you tell me and me say, okay, that's something, if you feel like you can handle it, that's fine. You can keep me out of it. But I would rather them tell me something that I don't necessarily need to know than them think, well, I don't want to bug him, and then it explode into a bigger situation, which is what happened while we were on the trip.
Yeah. Well, and you learn from the greatest leader of all time is Jesus. Okay. And that's what he did. He said, God has given me authority. I give you the authority. And he sent his disciples out 2 at a time to go and preach and teach and lay hands and do all these things. He gave them the authority and said, go. He didn't say, all right, we're all going to go, and I'm going to watch you, and I'm going to be standing here, and I'm going to make sure that you do the thing. Right. He said, no. He said, go. You're going to make some mistakes. You're going to, you're going to struggle. Like some of y'all maybe not be able to talk very well. It's okay. Just go. I've given you the authority. Go.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to do as leaders. Equip. We disciple. We equip. We send. That's what you're supposed to do. But we like to disciple. We like to equip, and we like to keep and manage, because it makes us feel like we're in charge.
Yeah. And the second thing I was going to get to is, like, with it being my first job, like as a manager, for me, it comes with insecurity, because I hate the feeling of maybe someone thinks I'm not doing my job, or I'm trying to pass responsibilities off onto someone else. That was when I was talking to our HR lady about that. It's like, I don't want her or the boss or whoever above me thinking he's just making other people do his job for him. That's I hate thinking that so much, and that's one of those things I have to kind of figure out and balance, and really get a grip of what responsibilities do I need to keep, and what responsibilities can I delegate.
Yeah. I can't remember what it was. It was like, there was a saying, it's like being hands-on. There's like 3 different types of leaders. It's like hands-on, hands-off, and something else. And learning that a sign of a good leader is having the people under you do what needs to be done when you're not there. So I think that actually what would happen is, once you set up those things and your people are doing things the way they're supposed to, they're going to look at you, even though you're not as involved hands-on, they're going to look at you and go, that's a good leader, because they're doing what they're supposed to be doing in his absence. So I know that's it's kind of like one of those things where you're lined up and you're doing wall sits in basketball practice, and coach turns around or runs to the locker room real quick. And what happens usually is the worst players are the ones that are standing and they're kind of looking, waiting on coach to get back. And then once he goes walk back in, they're back down now, instead of doing what they're supposed to do in his absence.
Yeah.
I concur.
Yeah.
All right, Rich, what about you? What's some things you see in your leadership to work on?
Well, in my work, I don't really have a leadership role beyond I take care of the truck,
Well, there you go.
And it used to aggravate me because when I first started, my boss would, he just kind of left it up to me to do everything with the truck, get the oil change and service and all that stuff. And it's like, and now I understand that he did that because I can and I do. So it's not a big deal to do that. Personally, I need to take more of a leadership role in my family, and it's biblical.
Yeah.
For the man to lead the house. And I know that's not a popular theory these days, but
how dare you?
I know I'm a misogynist, but that is biblical that the man is supposed to lead the household. And I just need to take not a stronger hold on my house by any means. It's not chaos or anything like that. It's just, things that can kind of go astray if you're not really paying attention to them.
Yeah.
That really need to be buttoned up. And we're working on it. Me and Jennifer are in a really, I talked to you about it today, we're in a really good place. Like, we've been working on our marriage for a while now, and we're getting there, man. We're really getting to where I see her working toward change and I'm working toward change. And it's pretty awesome to see God working in our marriage and in our household. So we just have to stay strong in that.
And that goes for everybody, I mean, you may be a single mother, or you may be, a single man with no kids. Like, whoever it is, the lead of your household you've got to work on yourself to make sure that house runs the way it should. That was, in my dad's absence, when he was, fighting for our country overseas, Mom was the leader of our household. So she had to make sure everything was done. And I commend her for that. Is like, even though we didn't have money growing up, we always had what we needed when we needed it. If we were going to homecoming, or if I needed basketball shoes or whatever, her and Dad, which Mom being in the household and Dad being overseas, they always made sure we had what we needed, at that time. So being able to be the leader of our household was something that I always looked up to her and like, man, you do such an amazing job at just figuring stuff out. Right. We're short on money. We don't know how we're going to do it, but she figures it out.
That's the way my mom was too. My dad wasn't around at all. And, I had a stepdad, but he was drunk 98% of the time. Yeah. So she did that. She took that single mother role, and she did everything. She was awesome, and I'm who I am because of her.
Yeah.
But it's a tough role. I mean, it's a tough thing to fill both shoes.
And just leading is tough, man. Yeah, it really is. With weight and eyes on you at all times, it's really a tough thing. Because you're struggling yourself, but you've kind of got to keep it together for those that are looking up to you or looking to you for answers or for, being in line. And it's like, man, and it's like you almost feel like you don't get any days off. You're like, man, I got to have it together today, even though today I'm struggling.
Right.
I just got to have it together. I got to have it together. I got to have it together. But it's okay. So any leader, and again, we all lead in some aspect of our lives. Understand that it's okay to struggle. It's okay to have some downfalls. It's okay to slip. It's okay to say, you know what, I fell short today as a leader in my house, as a husband, as a pastor, as a manager, whatever it may be. It's okay. Like, don't beat yourself up too much. Of course, look at it. Okay, I need to fix that. I need to do better. But like, just don't beat yourself up. Like, people will throw in the towel because it's just too hard. Yeah. I mean, I've been to that point many times where it's like, man, this is just too tough, and I just don't want to do it anymore.
Well, and I've done that, with previous marriages because it was pre-salvation, so I didn't understand what marriage was, what being a husband and a leader was. So when it got tough, I was like, I'm out. I'm done. I don't want to do this.
I feel like a sign of good leadership is no matter who is, you're leading, whether it's your family, your wife, or staff, employees that are under you. On those days, if you've been a good leader and you've had one of those days, that's what the people under you are for support on those days.
Yeah,
because it's I see the way I see marriage is, at least in my opinion, you want to strive for 50-50, but it's not going to be 50-50.
Yeah.
There are days where it's going to be 70-30,
Yeah.
80-20, but that's why the other person's there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and those are the best marriages where one person just we call it a funk in our house. You know, we'll just kind of let each other know, like, I'm just kind of in a funk. Yesterday, I was in a funk. So and Jamie knows me. I told her, you know me better than anybody on the planet. As soon as I walked in from service, she knew there was something wrong with me. So she's like, hey, are you okay? Like, what's going on? I'm like, I'm fine. I'm just going to go take a nap. Like, I'm just kind of in a funk. She understands that, and she, you know, just, oh, okay. Well, you just go in there and I'll get this stuff done. And just kind of quietly supporting me.
Right.
You know, when, you know, I get up, she's like, hey, are you okay? Is everything okay? What do you need? Like, and just being able to do that as partners,
Right.
being able to know that and lift each other up in those days where we feel less than is awesome. And that's that's filling in those gaps. When I fail, she lifts me up. When she fails, I lift her. And same with, you know, with everybody here at the church. It's like, you know, hey, I can't do this today. Do you think you can do this for me, or help me with this, or go here, or go, you know, do this? And it makes things work. So it's like a well-oiled machine, man. It's beautiful.
It's so important to have that appreciation there too.
Yeah.
You know, the last couple of days I've been taking care of Jennifer because she's been sick as a dog. Never
What does
understood
that mean?
saying. I don't just
Like, what does that
exactly
mean?
what it- sorry.
It means it's rough.
I didn't mean to trigger your ADHD.
See what I did there?
It means it's rough. Oh, that was good.
Thank you.
That was
I'd
pretty
like
good.
to thank my parents, my wife. As you're
He
saying.
didn't hesitate.
So
That was-
anyway.
Sorry, go ahead.
So last night she thanked me for, you know, taking care of her and taking care of stuff for the last couple of days. And that meant the world to me just to have that thank you.
Yep.
You know, just showing that appreciation, not just expecting it because you're married and that's the way it's supposed to be.
It goes a long way, man.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
Yep. Because I remember, I think it was me, you, and Tristan maybe, and we were getting like a couch or something for your house.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember coming in and y'all kind of got into it because, you know, we did this
Right.
all day long.
Right.
And we come in and she's just, you know, silent.
Right.
And I think, and again, this isn't attacking Jen Bunny. Lord,
Calm down, woman.
I want to breathe. I'm sorry, Bunny. Don't. This isn't right.
She will cut you for sure.
Man, first 48. Because I think we all do this
Yeah.
in our lives, with especially the people that are closest to us, is we just expect things to happen.
Right.
And when things happen, we just kind of overlook it and go about our day. And you're like, how about a thank you for the guys that have spent all day helping us do this? And it was something that I took out of that, because I'm like, that's something that I do. I do that a lot.
Yeah.
When Jamie does something, when you get home and dinner's cooked, you get home and there's times where like she'll get me a Red Bull or something, and it's like, thank you.
Right.
Like, don't overlook those moments of the people in your life doing these things for you. It's like, man, it could be a text, it could be whatever. Just thank you for that, because that those things kind of lift you up and many times go unnoticed and unseen,
Right.
and just kind of looked over.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Just to have that little bit of thank you.
That's just good leading. Like that.
Yeah.
That is good. That is good leadership. When you can have somebody, when you can have the cleaning lady feel appreciated, the
Right.
person out in the parking lot, you know, getting people inside, knows that they're appreciated. That's when you know there's a good leader. It's not just about the pastor and the youth pastor and the praise and worship team and all these. It's everybody
Right.
in the organization from management down saying, hey, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You
and
are
it,
seen.
and it has
That's
to come
awesome.
from everybody. You know,
Yeah.
it's not just the pastor's job to thank the cleaning lady or the people in the parking
That's
lot.
good.
You know, it's if you see somebody doing something, especially if it's something that they're not necessarily directly in charge of, hey, thanks for doing that. You know, it takes 2 seconds of your day to make somebody else's day.
Oh, dude, and it will make somebody's day for sure. Just like, oh, that was nice. That was a nice text, man. And both of y'all have hit me with that just randomly. Like, you know,
Right.
I'll be at school or whatever. It's like 10:30, and one of y'all texts me. I'm just like, well, that just made my day.
He's over
Dang.
There, he's over there blushing.
Yeah, I'm
Mr.
like,
Simmons, who got you blushing?
oh,
Is that
man.
your wife?
I know.
Man named Big Rich.
Man, like that sounds so bad. Like, it's not what that sounds like. I'm sorry. I
That's
said
a
anything.
prison movie.
Right.
And kind of like you were saying a while ago, it doesn't take the pastor to
Right.
to show appreciation to someone, but I feel like a good sign of leadership is when you've got people under leadership showing the initiative to take on some kind of responsibility
Right.
instead of waiting to be told.
Yep. Because that comes from they mirror that. That's what they see in their leader. Now I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I see him doing that. I see him patting somebody on the back and saying thank you. I'm going to do that.
I worked at Hefner Furniture back in the day, in the dark days.
in the dark days.
But Slug Hefner,
They had furniture in the
they had
1800s?
one or two pieces.
Okay.
I was about
But-
to say the early 90s.
Slug Hefner, he's an old school guy, but he taught me so much about management. It is crazy. But I remember one time he put trash there's two entrances that the employees came in. So he put trash at both entrances and he waited a few days and nobody ever picked up the trash. So in a sales meeting, he told everybody, hey, I've had trash sitting right by the doors for the last 3 days and nobody picked it up because it wasn't your job to do so.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it really hit me like, how long would that have taken?
Right.
And still to this day, when I'm at work and I see trash, I'll pick it up, see something that I can do, some little thing that I know needs to be done
Yep.
that I can help with.
Those things that go unseen is what builds a leader.
Right.
When the people under you don't see it, but you're still doing it. That's what builds integrity to now when you come out and show them how you want, like, here's the vision. You've built integrity up to get to that point to where now what you're saying is in you.
Right.
It's built in you. When you're cleaning toilets when nobody's here and nobody knows and nobody's ever going to know, but now you go to people, you say, hey, we're here to serve. You could say that with confidence because you're doing it when nobody's looking.
Right.
Because that's what you want to instill in people, even though they don't know you just cleaned the toilet. They don't know you just swept or whatever. That is what builds a good, and that, again, we talked about people want to skip over. You want to skip from just hired to CEO.
Right.
But you don't want to do CEO things.
Right.
You don't want to, you want to be, who's the guy who, Jeff Bezos, Amazon. You want Amazon now. You don't look at when it was about to go bankrupt and he was about to give up.
Right.
You don't want that part. You want the good part. You don't want the behind the scenes and the work and the headaches and the heartache and all these things that go with it. But that's what builds a good leader.
Well, what you said about learning from Jesus, the leader, Mark 10:45, I think is what it is. For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve and give his life as ransom for many. That's it.
Yeah.
We're to serve.
Yep.
And it's not hard to do, but we overlook it. We just shine over it, and it's just like it's expected of us to do. And nobody wants to, and that's the problem nowadays, is nobody wants to be courteous anymore. Like it's so much effort to say thank you or you're welcome or please. I mean, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Takes some humility.
Yeah.
I used to get upset at Mom because she would always want to sneak and take a picture, like I'll be at Revive cleaning the toilets or sweeping or just being there on a random day.
I can see her smile.
Oh, man. Well, I know, like, it was the day I got ordained. Okay. So I'm up there and I came in early because everybody was showing up to meet and then we were heading over. And I was just like, man, this is dirty in it. So I just started vacuuming and she snuck in and got a picture and put it on her Facebook. And I'm like, don't do that.
Right.
Like that. I get it. It may inspire somebody, but that's not what I do this for.
Right.
I was going to say, it's not, and that may even give people a bad taste in their mouth about you personally.
Yeah, and it's not bad. By no means am I saying that's bad. Like it drives me crazy when people get mad at when people are like giving money to the homeless and they film it or take a picture and they want to inspire somebody. That's cool as long as the heart behind it is good. But I don't want someone else taking a picture of me serving behind the scenes
because
in those
inevitably
moments.
Somebody will say that was a setup.
Right. And I mean, and it's like, I hope that inspires somebody. I really do. I hope that shows them, oh man, that's awesome. I'm in my suit, and I was vacuuming. It's like, that's awesome. But I don't want that in those moments.
Right.
I'd rather, okay, cool. Pictures of me if I'm preaching or hanging out with the kids or whatever. Awesome. But my service, let it just be my service.
Right.
Like I don't want that want that shown, because that's not my heart. You know, there's a lot of things I like doing, and people walk in and going, "Hey, this was messy. Like, who done this?" And just not knowing. It's like, oh.
And there will be those that'll run. That was me. That was me. That was me.
Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And we've had those. Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of people that when the leader comes, boy, they're ready to make sure they're it's cleaning. See me? You see me over here cleaning? Look what I'm doing. And that's fine, you know. I mean, if that's your thing, but it's all about the heart that's behind it.
Right.
You know, just, you know, if your heart's in the right place, I think you're doing all right.
True that.
Another thing I've come across in my job is giving your leaders grace even when they mess up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I wouldn't call myself the best manager or the best boss in the world, but you know, if people come to me, hey, I need a day off, okay, I'll do what I can.
Right.
Or, you know, things like that. I'll do everything I can. And then there's one instance over the Branson trip, something happened. It wasn't a huge issue, but I forgot to tell someone something. And it was just automatically, it's just
Yeah.
that one thing.
Yeah. It's like, man, like I'm trying, y'all. Like, please. And it usually comes from those that have never been in that position and they don't know that. Because usually those that come out of that position go, I get it, man.
Right.
It's all good, man.
Right.
I understand.
Yeah. And for that reason, I try to be super transparent with them, and not like push it on them like y'all are just, like there's so much I'm doing and y'all stress me out. But I try to be like, I try to tell them, like, you know, when they ask for days off, you know, I tell them I'll do everything I can.
Yeah.
That's not saying
That's
yes,
not
you're
an
going to get that
approval.
day
Right.
off,
Yeah.
or
Right.
no,
Yeah,
you
for
can't get
sure.
that day off. Like, I'm going to do what I can, but you know, and then people asking for different hours or different shifts. Like, I get it. There's only so much I can do though.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do what I can, but there's only so much that I can do for you. And it's one of those things, like, in those moments, like, if you've got someone that's doing, like, in those situations, doing stuff to help you out or doing things for you that you've asked them to do, and, you know, there's one, they make a mistake, big or small, you know, having some sort of grace towards them, it's in that situation would have been encouraging for me, because that would almost seem like a reflection of my leadership on them.
Yeah.
Seeing that I try to do a lot for them, and oops, I messed up, my bad, and they're like, that's okay, you're good.
Yeah.
We know you have a bunch on your plate, but it was kind of discouraging in that moment. Like
Yeah.
because I try to be transparent about, you know, there's a lot I'm doing. I'm not trying to be that, oh, I've got so much going on, but you know, that's the truth. I've got a lot going on with the job, you know, kind of, you know, give me just a little bit of a break there, you know?
And I think that has ruined a lot of good leaders
Mm-hmm.
is not having that, because then they just go, you know what, forget it. I'm just,
Yeah,
you know what,
you think you
whatever's
can do it
set-
better, do
right,
it yourself.
Right. Whatever's set, it's going to stay set. I'm not going to stress myself out no more. Yeah. No, I'm not going to change it, because when I do try to change it and I'm not able to, y'all want to gripe. So no, nobody, no more. No changing. Everything's going to stay the same. Or they just give up. They say, forget it, man. Like, can't make these people happy. Because again, it comes from people that's never had to do that.
Right.
If I was the leader, I'd do it this way. Well, then be the leader. Like, please feel free.
Yeah.
Please do.
Like, if you were there when that position was open,
Right. It's like,
Well, and I've worked at jobs like that before, where they set the schedule 2 weeks in advance, and that was it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you need it off, you better let them know,
Yep.
because they ain't changing it.
Yep. And I bet they probably started where they're like, okay, we get it. We'll try to move some things around. And it was a headache. And they said, forget it. If it's set, it's set.
Well, that was why Jennifer left her last job, and it was just horrible management, poor communication, bad scheduling, it was bad IT. It was just all bad. I mean, it was just a poorly ran company. And you can tell. I mean, you can tell, especially in a customer service type business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can tell when you go in a gas station if it's not being managed properly. You know, there's 8. I'm not going to say any names, but there's 2 gas stations that are the same in this town. One of them you go into and you can tell that they're managed better than the other one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's painfully obvious.
Yeah. And there's nothing better than watching good leadership in action. It's just like you walk into a church and you go, the pastor's got it together here. Like they've done a good job. They've done a good, because you see it in their people. They're people that are greeting at the door. They're people that are at the coffee shop. The praise and worship team. Everything is just like, they're so inviting and they're so lovely and it's just so awesome. It's like there is good leadership set up here, because I could tell in the people before I've even met the pastor. I already know.
Right.
You know, when we were at Arkansas, and we were there for a couple days before we met the head pastor, and we just knew, like, we're like, man, these people are awesome.
Yeah.
And like, man, they've got a good pastor here. Same with Pastor Randy. Like, walking in, if you hadn't met him yet until after service, you walk in, you're greeted at the door. You're greeted by security. You're greeted at the door. You're greeted at the coffee shop. People are giving you hugs, and you're invited in. It's like, oh, I know that there's a good leader here. You already know, because it reflects in you go into a grocery store and their employees are terrible and everybody's in a bad mood and nobody knows what's going on and nobody wants to help you. Guess what? It's probably because their leader isn't great, and they're mirroring what their leader does.
And that's the way it's been. And I don't know what's going on, and we'll never be sponsored by Walmart, but it's like every Walmart,
Not Walmart.
I know every Walmart, and it doesn't matter who's managing it. Like every Walmart that I go into, it's poor customer service. That's dirty, and the bathrooms are just, I don't know. I don't know what happened to Walmart.
Since we're on Walmart,
Since we're there,
one thing I don't understand, this is a multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar company, right?
Correct. Probably.
Please explain to me why each area, electronics, jewelry, whatever, doesn't have at least one employee there.
right?
Please help me understand.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, I went to Walmart and I stood, I am not joking with y'all, for 35 minutes at the jewelry counter. Like 6 times I had to hit the button. Need help? Hit the button.
Right.
So I'm waiting. I go talk to another lady in the food. Hey, I'm over at jewelry. Like, I've hit the button a few times. I try to stay calm because I get it. People get busy or you're shorthanded, whatever.
Yep.
I've been over here for a while. Like, I've hit the button a few times. Okay, I'll call them. Okay, thank you so much. Go back and stand. 10 minutes go by. Hit the button again. I go to the same lady. Ma'am, did you? Oh, I called. Did you not get nobody? No, that's why I'm standing here. Nobody is over there.
Yes.
And I stood there just at the counter, just looking around, 180 degrees, just looking. Okay, for 35 minutes, I didn't see an employee of Walmart. Our Walmart is not that big,
Right.
and I'm not pointing anybody out. I'm not saying anything about anybody. I understand you get busy. Everything gets crazy. I understand. I get it. Please, I'm not attacking Malden Walmart. Y'all, I'm telling you, there's some great people up there and some people that I love that work there. I get it. But I am standing there and I did not see for almost 40 minutes a single Walmart employee.
Yeah.
That is bad
That's not
management.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yeah.
Like, there's no excuse for that whatsoever.
Right.
There's not. And then they finally came. Oh, I'm so sorry. I guess my radio was off. I'm like, I mean, I guess so.
Well, and you know, when it comes to, you know, things like that, it comes down, at least in my opinion, it comes down to 2 things. It comes down to either one or a combination of both: a work ethic or a want to do the job.
Yeah.
And you don't get that a lot these days. You might get someone with a somewhat decent work ethic. You might get someone that just wants to work. You'll never get, especially nowadays, you'll probably never get both. But I mean, there's this, and that's what so many places I've been to. It's like, come across people that work there and they just hate it.
Yeah.
Like I get it. You know, unless you are doing the thing that you love to do and you're getting paid to do it, by all means, everyone's going to have those bad days at the job. And some people are going to have that bad day every day just because they don't like their job. But I mean, I hate saying, well, if you don't like it, just quit. But I mean, you kind of got to get to a point where, like, okay, I'm hating life.
All right.
Something's got to change.
Man, what I really love is when something like that happens and a manager does all they can to make it right.
Right.
Hey, we're so sorry about that. Hey, we're going to give you a coupon, or we're going to help you out, or we're going to do something. I'm going to give you my employee discount or whatever. Like, go above and beyond to try to, because that is going to happen. It's inevitably going to happen. Like, people are going to mess up. People are going to call in and you're not going to have an area. But those managers that try to go above and beyond and say, that is good. And again, that reflect, people see that. They go, I will come back. Even I stood here for 40 minutes, but you tried to make it right. I'll be back just because of you.
Yeah,
that will change everything.
That happened to us at Outback Steakhouse. The worst server in the history of servers, but the manager did. Our meal cost us like $3. All we had to do is pay for something. I don't remember, but it was just making it right.
Yeah.
And that's all you can do at that point is like, that's our bad.
Yep.
We're going to try and fix it.
And that same thing happened to us at, when you're here, your family, Olive Garden.
He had to say the slogan.
That's right. Where we sat for like 40 minutes and we still don't have our food, and we told we had to find somebody like, hey, we've been sitting here, we haven't got the order yet, and got them over there, ordered, got our food, all that, and they're like, no, it's on the house. I want to make it right. And it's like, I will be back here. Everything else just got wiped clean.
Right.
Because you try to make it right. Everything else got wiped clean. Because it was to the point where we're like, we'll never come back here again.
Right.
Like, it's just, that's crazy. All that went out the window as soon as he came. Hey, we just want to make it right. Like, we're going to take care of it. We're sorry about that. Cool.
Yeah.
You got another customer. I will be back here just because of that.
I've been to a couple of Fazoli's that.
Fazoli's, where you can get cannolis.
No, you can't.
No?
Oh. Yeah, I don't think so.
So anyway.
Never seen it on the menu.
But the two that I've been to recently, they were just phenomenal customer service.
Yeah.
And I will absolutely go there.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't been to Fazoli's in a while.
Man,
that's what I was about to say. I haven't seen, where's Fazoli's? Is it?
Cape.
Oh, of
There's
course.
one in Cape. There's
Is
one
it
in
one?
Poplar
Okay.
Bluff.
See, I thought the one in Bluff went out. I just maybe ignore it every time I go by.
The one in Cape that's the one in front of Schnucks, I think.
Well, when Taco is looming in the background, every other restaurant goes out the window.
He's got tunnel vision, blacks out.
That's the way
so
I am
good.
with Chins.
Yeah.
I feel like in those moments, or really with anything, you want to create such a hassle-free space for anyone that's trying to enjoy, if it's a church service or if it's at a restaurant. I mean, that's kind of the goal. You want whoever you're trying to invite there, you want them to have zero hassle.
Right.
Yeah, you want to make it as enjoyable as possible.
And that's in management. That's your job, is a firefighter. You're there to put out fires. Whatever comes up, you deal with it.
Oh, yeah. Tommy Gavin style.
I don't know who that is.
That's Rescue Me. Look it up.
Oh.
Anything else on your heart?
Just that pink hat.
Yeah. Zaylee gonna be mad you stole it from her.
It even looks like the same size.
Hit the button.
Sorry, I can't. It's bothering me.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the Almost Brothers are going to be looking for 2 new hosts. So send in your emails as soon as you can. We love you.
Hey, listeners, we just want to thank you for your continued support for the Almost Brothers podcast. Do us a favor and go to your favorite platform and rate us and like us and share with everyone that you know. Thank you so much. Love you.